These are 10 more pointless but awesome terminal tricks, brought to you in part by Linode. Go to linode.com/Lunduke and get a $20 credit to set up whatever kind of server you want in the Linode cloud of awesomeness. They got like 175 bajillion data centers around the world. Actually, I think it's 13, 12, 14, something like that. A baker's dozen, roughly. Maybe give or take one or two donuts all over the world. They got them in Australia. They got them in India. They got them in North America. They're all over the place. So bake your data center. Set up your Linux-based virtual server. Put up a Nextcloud instance on it. Put up a mail server on it. Put up a mud on it. Whatever you want to do, you rock out. Linode.com/Lunduke. And I did 11 pointless but awesome terminal tricks just last week. And I'm going to do more this week. Because why the heck not? Because things that are goofy that you do inside of a terminal are fun. They make your life better. They make you smile on the inside. Your heart rejoices with the happiness of 1,000 dancing sheep. I don't know. I don't think that's a real saying. The one other thing before I get into this, I wanted to point out, if you go to lunduke.com, you can get the RSS feed for all these articles. You can read the articles that we're going to talk about right now. You can get all the screenshots and copy and paste all the text, whatever you need to do. It's all over at lunduke.com. But every week I do a podcast called Ask Lunduke, where people ask me a variety of questions. They ask me Linuxy questions and open sourcey free software questions and retro computing questions. It's a very, very nerdy thing. Super nerdy. But there's one thing that's not in those questions. Politics. It's just nerdy stuff. So if you're sick and tired of hearing about politics on every friggin' news site on the planet, come on over to lunduke.com. and listen to Ask Lunduke. It's absolutely fantastic. Ask Lunduke is the only show, the only audio, the only video, the only article I produce that isn't just 100% free for the whole world. It's a thank you for everyone who supports this show and keeps the lights on and keeps me in black and white here in the videos. You have two ways you can watch the show, or listen to the show rather. One is by becoming a supporter on Patreon. You go to patreon.com/Brian Lunduke, or just go to lunduke.com and click on some of the support links. And then Shazam, you get an RSS feed with, whatever, all of the episodes as they come out. It's fantastic. Or you can go to LBRY and subscribe to the Lunduke channel on LBRY, on Library at lbry.com. Just click on the links over on lunduke.com, and a small cost in the cryptocurrency that they use over at LBRY called the LBCs, the library credits. You can just tip me a couple of them, and then you can listen to it there as well. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this. 10 more pointless but awesome terminal tricks. So this is, I should preface this. This article was originally published in 2016, close to 4 years ago, over at Network World, back when I was writing nerdy technical articles for IDG and Network World. However, Network World published these articles as slideshows. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of slideshows. I find them rather annoying. I mean, you expect like a BuzzFeed and those sorts of sites to have slideshows of, 15 pictures of cats. Number 7 will shock you. And that's fine. That's fine. They can have their slideshows. I'm not a huge fan of slideshows. I like everything in just one page, one big old page. You can put as many screenshots as you want on the page, just one page. And I started noticing that even in those slideshows, which already annoyed me that they were in slideshows, some of the images started getting broken and some of the links didn't work, and like some of the text was replaced by the URLs and the formatting started getting weird, and then some of the articles started anyway. So I'm reposting some of my more goofy and fun articles from those period of time here at the Lunduke Journal, lunduke.com, and this is one of them. I haven't really updated it much. It's pretty straightforward. Let's dive in. So last time we did 11 of them, right? It's filled with such classics as making a cow talk with cowsay and rainbow coloring your terminal with lolcat. Those are important things. If you don't use lolcat regularly, you're not a real Linux user. As was correctly pointed out to me at the time, both when I originally published these articles years ago and when I published that one last week, there are lots of ridiculous but cool things you can do in the terminal that didn't make the list. So here's round 2. You're welcome. I'm not going to go into how to install these because most of these are pretty simple. Most of these can be installed with, a quick apt install, zipper install, whatever. Whatever package manager you have, most of these are going to be available if you even need to install something at all. If you have a hard time installing some of these, luckily doing a quick DuckDuckGo search or a Bing search will find them for you. Don't use Google. All right, here we go. Oh, I should note, this is worth noting, some of these are not pointless, not even remotely pointless. Some of them are incredibly useful, but they can be used in goofy ways or they just look cool, so I included them because I wrote the article and I can do that. So the first one we're going to talk about is Telnet Star Wars. And I'm close to 100% positive that every single person who has been in the Linux world for long enough has seen Telnet Star Wars. You simply do telnet to towel.blinkenlights.nl and inside your terminal, and you can watch Star Wars in ASCII animation. It's fantastic. Now, there's no sound or anything like that, but it's truly fantastic. I mean, it starts from the beginning and it plays all the way through. It's glorious. I highly recommend doing this at least once. It's fantastic. It's Telnet Star Wars. It's cool. The second thing, Cal. Now, this is a useful little utility that actually was originally created in 1983, which, according to the math that I originally wrote the article, that was 33 years ago. Now that is 37 years ago. Holy smokes. And it originally came out with Unix System 5, right? And the Cal is just short for calendar. And it does exactly what you think it does. It shows you a calendar. It's simple, right? Simple. I typically only use it when I want to see like the month at a glance. It does have some other options. It doesn't have a ton of options. It's a very simple program. But where it gets fun, you can print out Cal using lolcat. So Cal space pipe space lolcat, and now you have a rainbow colored monthly calendar in text in your terminal. Why do you want that? I don't know, but you can have it because software is cool. The next one is possibly the most important command in all of open source Linuxiness, Unixiness, etc. Yes. Now, what do you think yes does? It literally repeats whatever text you give it forever. That's it. So the little screenshot I have here, it says, "This is important, this means something," which is, of course, a reference, depending on who you are, either to Close Encounters of the Third Kind or UHF. For me, it's both. I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. But you can simply type, "Yes, this is important, this means something," inside quotes, and it will just say that until the end of time. This is really useful if you want to fill, like, let's say, a file up with the same text over and over again. Outside of that, I don't know what you'd use this for. I mean, I guess if you just really wanted to pipe all of that out to a file and just fill your drive up with the biggest text file man has ever known with one line of text in it, I guess that's useful. But if you lolcat it, again, yes, this is important, this means something, pipe lolcat, well, now it's rainbow colored, and it suddenly becomes so much more useful. But yes, YES, fantastic terminal command. All right. In other commands that you can utilize with text, toilet is great. Pass in whatever text you want to toilet, and it makes it bigger. That's it. It's awesome. Basically, so you can say, this is important, this means something, and it will print it out in large, ASCII art style. Bloop, here you go. Across the screen. It's fantastic. Does it do anything else? No. I mean, there are other options with it. You can, search the man page for toilet, and you'll find that. Why is it called toilet? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there is a reason. I haven't ever looked into it. I kind of don't want to look into it. I kind of want it to be a mystery. You know what I mean? I want it to be mysterious to me why it's not called, I don't know, ASCII art word or something like that. Why is it called toilet? I don't know, but it's toilet and it's available everywhere. It's like in every repository. Every repository for every Linux distribution on the planet has a toilet. It's fantastic. It makes your text bigger. All right. Now here's one that is useful in weird ways. It's called RIG, R-I-G. It came about in 1999, and it has one purpose. It generates fake identities. Yeah. If you type man rig for the man page for rig, it says, and I quote, this is an exact quote, "It is suitable for such applications as feeding the New York Times registration page to fend off junk, snail mail, and telemarketers, or for registering on BBSs to which you don't wish to reveal your real information." It's funny because the point of, according to the man page for it, it's there for online registration stuff. But very few online registration things nowadays ask you for your phone number and your mailing address, right? They ask you for your email address. Sometimes they'll even ask you for your social media accounts, but very rarely do you see that anymore, where it's just the mailing address, like your physical address. But that's what RIG does. It generates fake identities. That's funny. Also, I enjoy that there's a tool inside almost every repository, again, RIG, R-I-G, that is specifically for registering anonymously on bulletin board systems. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. There should be more of that in the world. All right, we move on. eSpeak. Now, eSpeak isn't so much pointless. It has value. It has real value. It takes text and it speaks it. And it has tons and tons of options, including, this is real. You can create a WAV file of whatever text you want it to speak. You can send it in. You can pipe to it a whole text file. So you can take a text file and it'll speak it out to a WAV file for you. For real. You can really do that. I could literally create a podcast. This is not a joke. I could create a podcast from my articles by simply piping the text file I use to write my articles through eSpeak and pump it into a WAV file and then convert it to an MP3 and upload it as a podcast. Totally could do that. You can change the speaking speed. You can change the pitch of the speed. It is so much fun. I highly recommend it. And you can pipe whatever you want into it, any terminal command. So, I mean, it does have real value if you, for example, have vision impairments or the like, or have a hard time seeing or something along those lines. You can pipe whatever you want into eSpeak. So like RIG, for example, if you want to generate a fake identity, you could do RIG space pipe space eSpeak. And it will speak to you a fake identity. That's cool. That's just cool. I just think it's cool that you can do that. I love piping things. I just love piping things in Unixy style terminals. I love the Unix approach of, modular things, do one thing, do it well. So just tons of little tiny applications that you can pipe the output into each other. It is so massively powerful. So like this article is 10 pointless terminal tricks. The last article I put out in this series was 11 pointless terminal tricks. So there's 21 pointless terminal tricks. But the reality is, you can combine the majority of those together by piping outputs around and nest it to create some of the weirdest results and some truly great results, and it becomes extremely useful. So while this is pointless terminal tricks, this is all really useful stuff. And here's kind of a fun one. Hash. Hash doesn't generate a hash, which is what you would think it would do. It shows you the exact number of times you've run every terminal program. That's what it does. So like a screenshot here was from a little virtual machine I created just to create these pictures and these screenshots. And I just type hash and it says, well, I've run cal once and I've run yes once and I've run espeak twice and toilet 4 times. And it'll tell you how many times you run all of your commands. So if you're curious, so sit down at a machine that you use regularly, or a server or something, and just type hash and see how many times you've run sudo or a wide variety of other commands. See how many times you've typed it. It is mind-boggling. If you live in a terminal with any regularity, oh boy, it adds up really, really fast. However, if you pipe the output into something, so like let's say you pipe the output of rig into lolcat, it counts rig, but I do not believe it counts lolcat. So even if you use lolcat all the time, it's not going to count it if you're piping into it. It just counts like that first command you run. All right, ASCII view. ASCII view is tight. It takes a picture and it renders it in ASCII art. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's what it does. I got a picture here of Saturn. It's great. It's just a little pixel art Saturn that was just rendered in ASCII. It's glorious. You take any picture you want. So what I do, there's a lot of options for it. So do a man ASCII view to really dig through the options for what works for you. But ASCII view, ASCII view, space, and then pass the picture name, space, dash, driver, space, curses. Simple. It renders it great inside the terminal. It makes the results just look fantastic. I love ASCII view. I actually use it quite regularly. It's glorious. Okay. The next one is debatably not in the slightest pointless. It is incredibly useful. It's htop. But I'm including it here because it's so much fun to use htop in screenshots. And it seems like half the time people are using htop publicly, they do it for screenshots because it looks cool, right? It's top, only super colorized, looks better, and it's interactive. You can actually do stuff with it. It has actual functionality, unlike top that just blah. So top came out in 1984. In case you were wondering about that. htop came out in 2004. That's 20 years later. It took 20 years for us to get from top to htop. But I'd say it was worth the wait because htop is gloriously pretty. It's the prettiest way to see your resource usage, in my personal opinion. Anyway, it's fantastic because you can use the arrow keys to go through your various running processes and kill them directly. It's fantastic. If you use any sort of process viewer and don't use htop, give htop a try because once you get used to it, it's just fantastic. All right, the last one I want to talk about is apropos. Apropos is incredibly handy. Basically, it helps you find programs. So you type apropos into your shell, and it'll tell you apropos what. And so if you type apropos picture, it will display the programs with man pages that have the word picture in their name or description. It is really, really handy. So like, for example, if you type apropos picture, it'll talk about cheese, gpic, ppm flash, basically lots of different applications for converting pictures, taking screenshots, doing all sorts of stuff. So you type apropos text, apropos anything, and it'll say, well, these are the applications that have man pages that talk about that sort of thing. Super handy for discovering new terminal applications that you may not have known existed before. It's really fantastic. Apropos, apropos, apropos. Awesome application. Again, super duper not pointless. I guess unless you type really pointless words into it, I don't know. I guess you could. It also pipe apropos into lolcat, and that makes it slightly more pointless, but really just makes it more colorful. Anyway, these are some more terminal tricks. They're fantastic. I've got a million more. If any of you want more of these, just let me know, and you got it. I will deluge you with ridiculous terminal commands, and we'll just see where that goes. Once again, I want to say thank you to all the people that help make the Lunduke Journal possible. I want to say thank you to Linode for helping to support this show and being a truly fantastic sponsor of the show. I want to thank all of the supporters over on Patreon, the folks over on LBRY that tip me and tip my shows. I make more money off of library of LBRY than I do off of YouTube ad revenue by a bit now. So I mean, it's all really, really handy. Thank you everybody for helping make this show grow. It has been absolutely mind-boggling the sort of numerical growth over the last month or two. I have no idea why. It's shooting up like it is, but I'll take it. I don't think I did anything. It's got to have been all of you guys helping to spread the word about this show. So thank you for making that happen. And we're done. Yep, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.